Good morning guys, welcome to Lost Phoenix Gaming. I'm back on Forza Motorsport 7 having a look at Forzathon challenges for the second week of March. We have International Appeal, keep it speedy. We'll have to complete a race at Virginia International Raceway Patriot Alt in an S-Class car. That's for the 2011 McLaren 12C. Then there's Wearing It Out, a brand new set of tyres. Get a drift score of 6,000 in a single lap at a drift event at Catalonia School Circuit in a rear-wheel drive car. That is for the modern driver gear. Following that, we have complete a drift event at Dubai Mountain Circuit. Then there's Classic Cool, who has my Letterman jacket. Complete a race where you go at least 174 miles an hour in a vintage GT division car. This will be working towards 315,000 credits. And then there's complete 5 laps at Lime Rock Full Circuit Alternative in a Sports Compact Division car. And then win a race in a Vintage Sport Compact Division car. So those are your challenges for the week. So this is what we've got. So let's get into it. Let's have a look. And I'll make a start by hitting up the drift event at Catalonia. So here we are at Catalonia, at the school circuit. I'm driving the Kia Stinger. I did a little fade into that one because it's my third lap around here. This is a really short circuit. This is like a really short circuit and doesn't give you huge amounts of space to actually get your drift score in. And it's took me a couple of goes, couple of laps. I've been getting about 4,500, something like that on each lap. So it's not great. The Kia generally is a good car for this, but the circuit is that tiny. But I've got this on. This is my third attempt. I've got to hit 6,000. So I've got to do. I've got to hit 6,000 in the Kia Stinger. The Kia Stinger, of course, which is a car by the Korean budget manufacturer people. It's launched to try and give a bit of competition to the BMW M Series, to the Mercedes AMG line. You know, my Audi S line, but nobody took it seriously. Nobody took this car seriously. It's actually a good car, and nobody took it seriously. We're looking at it thinking, if we can be spending £30,000 to £40,000 on a car, on a sports saloon, why would we buy a Kia? Why don't we just go and buy a BMW? Why don't we go and buy an Audi or a Mercedes? And it sort of, hasn't done too well because of it. I've seen one of these locally recently and it's got a bit of a grunt to it. It really has. Unfortunately, the person who driving it was driving like a bit of a granny. But that's for Kia, 6,700. So I've got that challenge out of the way. You've made progress in wearing it out. Excellent. So back in, what have I got? I've got my drift event at Dubai, but I'll combine that with something else later. So what I'll do is I'll have a look at the Virginia International Raceway Patriot in an S-Class car. So Virginia International Raceway in an S-Class car. I am driving a Rolls-Royce Dawn. This is a 4-seater convertible. It's about a 6.6 litre engine in it. It's a V12. Puts out about 560 horsepower, so it's pretty respectable, although its performance at about 13 miles a gallon is not fantastic. The thing about these is they're Rolls Royces, which means they're heavy and they're big, and there certainly is no different. This is a 4-seater convertible, very nice, and it costs about the same price as a respectable 4-bedroom house in the UK. And in all fairness, weighs somewhere around the same as well. But it's not doing too badly round Virginia, which is like a IMSA NASCAR sort of circuit. It's originally came into Forza games back with the expansion pack for Porsche back with Forza 6. But this is a real racetrack. It does exist, and it's been in operation since about 1957, if I remember correctly. Although it was closed for a few years between 74 and 2000 for various reasons. But coming up to the line. I've lost this one. Coming second, 1 minute 25. You're just too slow and heavy. Despite the engine, it's far too slow and far too heavy. So, came in behind a Volvo S60. But never mind. Got the pop-ups. You've made progress in international appeal. And I've completed international appeal. Fantastic. So all I need to do is pop into my Forzathon page and collect that McLaren. Here we are. It's the 2011 McLaren 12C Coupe. Rear value and 425 collector's points for those who care about that sort of stuff. So that's brilliant. I've already got one of these. I picked it up on a level up, driver level up recently. If I don't know, I took the money, but it doesn't matter. I've got it, and it is a nice car. Moving on, we have the drift event, which I'm going to leave. Then I've got the complete a race. We go at least 174 in a vintage GT Racing Division car. Okay, no problem. So I'll get into that one and let's see what we got. So here we are. This is the 174 in a GT Racing Division. So I've got the Shelby Cobra, which is absolutely brilliant. I love it, and I'm taking it around Le Mans because I haven't raced around Le Mans in ages. And it is a nice track. And there's one thing about Le Mans which makes it perfect for this, which I don't think I can do in any other, is get the speed, because it's got the old Mulsanne circuit, which is brilliant. It's got that long straight, it's got no chicanes or anything. You can proper get your foot down. And as much as you could mod this Shelby, you would take it out of its class, which means I couldn't use it. So this is probably a practical way of doing it. I do like the Shelby. It's one of my favourite cars in the game. I've said this time and time again because I've used this a lot and it's really nice. It's an old classic 60s American, sports car. It's brilliant, open top, two-seater, lovely. But it's actually half British. It was made in conjunction with a company called AC Cars in a factory in Bristol, But it's actually really good, and it's really good. And AC Cars still exist. I looked them up, they actually do exist, but they do bespoke ad hoc work with other manufacturers and stuff. But this is a really nice car, and you can definitely feel the power when you drive it. You've got the full V8 in it, and it's actually really good. And this is a straight I'm on about, the old Mulsanne circuit. Got the nice long straight, you can just get your foot down, straight line, brilliant. And Le Mans is absolutely brilliant circuit because it's actually two parts in a way. There's a real street circuit, and there's actually like a fixed track. And obviously everyone knows Le Mans because of a 24-hour race, and everything they have every June, which is like a big endurance race in motorsport. And it's actually quite a thing because there's quite a lot of endurance races around the world. There's a whole series dedicated to it, and Le Mans was actually one of the pioneers of this back in 1923. They wanted to try and take a different angle on motorsport because at the time it was all Grand Prix. It was all how quick can we get this car around the track. But for the Le Mans track, for that event, the organiser said, hang on, let's test something different. We all know you can put a big engine in it and get your foot down and get some decent speed. But what about reliability? What about endurance? What about actual technical skill? And they created the 24 hours event, to test the reliability of the cars, endurance of the drivers, and the general different aspects of engineering which weren't really being sort of tested or pushed competitively in motorsport at the time. But this is a long track. It takes about 4 minutes to do a lap, which is actually quite mad. And I'm doing this on my PC today, because you may notice when the cursor shows up, you've got 30 frames a second, because I've had to tweak it. I normally can play it at 60. But to record it, I've had to use Windows' game bar thing. And I've had to drop it to 30 frames a second, otherwise it gets really jittery. But it's not running too badly on the PC. I may do some of these in future because I couldn't really get on the PC because I had to record this a little bit earlier in the evening. And I couldn't get on the Xbox. I couldn't actually get on the Xbox. So if I'll try it on the PC, plug a controller in, got the Bluetooth ones because I've got an Xbox X and it all works quite nicely. So it looks alright. I've been burning a few of my mods off on this as well because I've got loads of mods that I picked up in loot crates and stuff like before we changed to a race shop. I've got loads for. A lot of them are low end, things like 40%, 50%, but I don't tend to use when I do the big races. So well, let's just chuck them on now, just burn them off, but I've totally failed it on this. Stay on the track for one lap. Totally failed on that one, but it doesn't matter. I've done the challenge, I've hit the speed. Got to drive an absolutely brilliant sports car around a really fun track, and 4.5 minutes on that one. So like I said, it's not the sort of 1.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes like I normally get out of tracks. This is like a proper one. So 4.5 minutes against the Maserati 300S. Fantastic. Got the pop-ups. You've made progress in Classic Cool. So have I got complete 5 laps at Lime Rock full circuit alternative in a sports compact division car. So what I'll do is I'll get into that one and see what I can do. Here I am at Lime Rock in a Tamo Racemo. Lime Rock does exist, it's a real circuit, it's in Connecticut. And it's actually one of the shortest full-length tracks in the game. And if I remember correctly, originally it was put at 1.53 miles, something like this. Because apparently when it was first measured and tested back in the 50s, when it was opened in 56, how they did it was to go around the track in a Chevy and actually look at the odometer on there and actually look at the distance travelled. But back in 2008, when the circuit was reconstructed and redone, it was measured properly and it came down to 1.5 miles. So it is still one of the shortest tracks in the world. It's actually the shortest full track that we've got on the game. You know, I've got the Racemo, which is like an Indian car. It's made by Tata Motors, bit of a concept car. 1.2 litre petrol, apparently, which doesn't sound great, does it? You know, but it seems to be okay. But there's only 250 of them built because basically it's just too expensive, and an Indian car company not the most well financed. They're not up there with Ford or Mercedes or, you know, people like that. But it's completed the lap, 1 minute 15, so not doing too badly. I see Forza's got it at 1.5 miles, so definitely showing the updated figure rather than the original. I could wait and see what time my opponent comes in on, but I probably won't. I'll probably just say, you know what, they're so far behind me, I'm just going to skip it. Let's get in and see my pop-ups, which is you've made progress in Classic Cool. Fantastic. And Forzathon, what's next? Complete a drift event at Dubai Mountain Circuit and win a race in a vintage sport compact division car. I get a bit bored if I can't combine stuff and I can't fiddle around with challenges and stuff like this and get it working. So I've decided I'll combine these two because the drift event's got no specific target, it's got no score requirement, it's got no class or car any requirement, it's just do an event. So I might as well get this car, this classic car, and just get on with it. So it's the Dubai circuit, the mountain circuit, in a 1977 Ford Cortina. Right, where do I start? Firstly, Dubai. Real place, United Arab Emirates. Loads of stuff, loads of new developments and everything, but the one thing it hasn't got is this track. All the tracks within the Dubai races on Forza are fake. They're not real, they're fictional. There are real things that you can see. You can see that the mountain passes there, you see the airport, you see that Forzathon building they've got there. His name escapes me right now. But generally the tracks are fake. There is a real racetrack, there is real things in there, but it's not here. It's not in as part of this game. But it's still quite a nice circuit to be driving around, although you do get a bit confused in places sometimes because of the way the track turns. But maybe that's just me. Driving a Ford Cortina. Driving a Ford Cortina, which is the closest thing in the game to a Ford Anglia, which obviously Harry Potter fans will know the reference. But this is a Ford Cortina. It's built between 62 and 82 in the UK at the famous car plant in Dagenham, which was one of the big losers, was one of the big things that suffered when the British car industry practically collapsed. But it's quite a nice car. I remember these. I mean, my father owned one of these. He had one of the later ones, it must have been 80, 82, something like that. He owned one of these, and they're actually quite nice. But it's one of those things where there's a few versions of these. They started from 1.2 litre going up to 1.6, which is what most people had. But then they released a 2.3 litre V6 version a bit later, although not many people bought them. So it's like there's like a bit of a rarity where most people had them just as family cars. And yeah, so drifting in your family saloon, fantastic. But there's no limit. That's my phone, by the way. There's no limit on score, miss, or anything like that. So I thought, just throw it around the lap, just get whatever I can, just get the car out of the way. So 11,000 score on here, so 11,170, which is absolutely brilliant. So that's a win on that one. I've made progress in wearing it out, and I've completed wearing it out. I've made progress in Classic Cool, and of course I've completed Classic Cool, so that's the two challenges knocked off in my one race. So I'll go into my Forzathon screen, I'll have a look, I'll claim my two prizes, and I'll have a look at what we've got for next week. First off, the 115,000 credits, which always come in handy because I do buy a lot of crap out of the race shop, and there's a modern pilot. If the car had wings, it would be perfect. So that's that. That's your 1-step, your 2-step, your 3-step challenges. So I've got some credits, I've got the modern pilot driver gear, and of course I've got the McLaren 12C. All that's left now is to have a look, and let's see what we've got ahead of us for next week. First off, What a Life in the fast lane. That is for the 2012 Porsche 911 GT3 RS4. Then there's Time to Compete, Get Out and Race. That's for 30,000 driver credits. And then there's Manufacturer Detail, Keep It Legal. And that's for the Moto driver gear. So that is what we've got, your 1-step, your 2-step and your 3-step challenges for next week. I'll be having a look at them on Friday. I might record them on PC again. I don't know, depends if I can get on the Xbox. But that is that, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching the video. And if you like what I'm doing, hit that like button, hit subscribe, leave me a comment. 'Cause I've got other Forza things I want to be doing at the moment. I want to have a look at different tracks and looking at payouts and that. I want to look at just quite a few sort of different angles, different things with Forza, because you know what, it's a game which has got quite a lot of possibility in it, so I want to have a quick look at some of this stuff and I'll put some stuff up. So if you've got any ideas about anything in Forza I can have a look at, anything you want me to test or anything like that, give me a shout. Leave me a comment. Just let me know, and I'll have a look and see if I can put something together. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy and happy driving.